It differs from the normal formulations because we
Hello. We just use the speaker on my laptop. Just two of us. Hello. What's wrong with my microphone?
I leave you 1 minute. I just be back.
Okay.
Hello.
Can I come on?
Hello.
Hi.
Let me share my screen.
Can you hear us?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
Perfect. Manel and Andrea are joining me in the same room.
Okay.
All right. Can we start?
A few minutes. We still need to have Manel and Andrea. They are joining me.
Okay.
Are you supposed to have another meeting at the same time?
I think the meeting will be covered by Edward. It's the monthly meeting reporting to the program manager of IT.
Hello.
Okay.
Normally, Roman will be in those kind of meeting reporting to IT, and I guess Edward forgot to forward the invitation to you.
Okay. Okay. Well, that doesn't matter.
Oui, elle arrive. Perfect. Okay, I think everybody is here.
Okay, so for now, I just get started.
So the goal today is to have an overview of what has been done in Descartes, what had been decided first as a use case to be studied in 2022, and have an overview of what's being done up to now, and exchange on the next steps for next year. Is it okay for everybody? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, Lynn, you can proceed.
Yeah. Okay. So let me get a quick review of DCAS and let everyone know what DCAS is about. DCAS is a project funded by Singapore government, who is intending to bring all together the universities in France and the universities in Singapore together to work together on the topic of AI related research field. So the central idea of having DCAS is to explore the hybrid AI to improve to solve some problems in practical engineering. What the hybridization of AI means to the hybridize the existing mathematical model and the model given by data. So in this way, the hybridization of existing mathematical model and the data-based, data-driven model can approximate the actual system as accurate as possible. So this is central idea of hybridization of AI. The project is quite long. It's a 5-year research project, and there are more than 19 academic entities in Singapore and France involved in this project. And there are 3 industrial partners, including EDF, ARIA, and TELUS. So for now, EDF is leading the digital energy demonstrator in this project. In this project, there are totally 9 work packages. The first two work packages more about the fundamental research of AI and mathematical models, AI algorithms, and data-driven approaches. So the third work package is about the AI-related optimization method and utilize a data-driven method to explain to use conventional mathematical model or mathematical view to explain how AI algorithm make the decision. And the fourth work packages and the fourth and the fifth work package is about the virtual reality and natural language processing topics. The sixth and seventh work package is more about AI-driven human behavior studies. So these 2 packages are not really, it's not highly relevant to engineering problems. The idea is to apply all of the algorithms from work package 1 to work package 7, and including work package 8. Work package 8 is to explore the AI algorithm to accommodate some specific engineering problems. So all the algorithms and the results from work package 1 to work package 9, work package 8 will be implemented or verified and validated in the demonstrator defined in work package 9. So in this work package 9, EDF is supposed to provide a demonstrator or platform so that the algorithm outcomes from other work packages can be verified. This is overall structure of the DCAS project, and we are here, work page 9. So the idea here is to we have to provide a useful use case for a platform or as a demonstrator for verifying the algorithms from other work packages. So for now in Singapore office, we can see we have an existing project called Primo project. It's the project studying the urban energy systems. The project is in the Punggol Digital District. It has 3 microgrid interconnected together, and each microgrid are owned by different stakeholders. So you can see this is a one-line diagram of the entire microgrid system. There are 3 sub-microgrids which are owned by different owners. I think I think I think the people maybe you have previously met Lolita before, and you know this project. This is the project led by Lolita. So we are trying to explore something interesting topics, interesting use case or demonstrator that can be used as a use that can be studied or investigated in DCAS project. So assume that we have three building systems. For each building system, it has multiple energy assets like energy storage and PV cooling system and waste to energy and EV fleets as well as EV charging station. Uh, we also noticed that in Singapore for now, Singapore Power is launching a trading or exchanging platform to for renewable certificate. So this is a very emerging market in Singapore, as well as moreover, Singapore Power is also launching a wholesale electricity market, so that different asset owners or stakeholders can exchange their surplus power in this kind of electricity market. So this is a context or background of DCAS project. Based on this background, what we can do or what we have proposed is including three aspects. So the first aspect or first problem may be something in the planning phase, and this is about the optimal location, optimal sizing of EV charging station, as well as battery storage. You can see the battery storage as a stationary energy storage system, and EV charging station and EV fleets as mobile battery energy storage system. So this is kind of things like the planning, trying to identify the optimal location and sizing of mobile battery storage and stationary energy storage. And second one is about operation phase. The idea is to optimally manage electrical system, cooling system, and decide the flexibility provision to utility grids, and try to optimally decide the trading strategy of renewable electricity certificate. And third problem is from the perspective of power system operator. So what we are trying to do here is to ensure the power dispatch signal or commands from power system operator does not induce any contingency in real time operation. So I think we can go through one by one. So for the EV topic here, yeah, the ultimate objective is to find out the optimal location, optimal sizing of each EV charging station or fleet or battery energy storage. So for here, I try to identify three deliverables that may be used for EDF. So the first one is to establish some stochastic model based on AI methods to understand how the end user of EV behave in the in modern society, so that we can leverage this model to find out in a power system, in an existing power system, which location is the most suitable location to establish EV charging station to avoid overloading or light loading of the system. For deliverable 1 point, for deliverable 2, we are going to investigate before your EV charging stations are actually deployed in the system, how this EV charging station will impact the operation of grids, which means in your planning phase, you have to do the due diligence of different government regulations and the different grid codes in different countries, especially in Southeast Asia. In Southeast Asia, we have we have different kinds of markets. Like in Singapore, the market will be relatively open. However, in Thailand, the market and regulation is the market is less open and the regulation is much more restricted than here in Singapore. So the idea here is to identify identify different regulation levels in different markets, and we are trying to incorporate the regulation rules as a mathematical model, and finally substitute this kind of mathematical model in our final optimization problem. This optimization problem means the is the optimization this optimization problem is used for solve the optimal location of also optimal sizing of EV charging stations and storage system. So in addition to the first two deliverables, the first two constraints in the final optimization problem, another additional consideration should be, you know, in modern market, we have different EV charging stations from different manufacturers, and different manufacturers may provide fast charging solution and slow charging solution. So what we are going to do here is to include the impacts of fast charging function, slow charging function, and the charging stations from different manufacturers, as well as those kind of V1G and V2G function in the operation wise, in taking all these considerations into our EV charging station sizing and location phase. So I think this is the novelty I can identify in this mobility topic. So the outcome of this EV charging mobility topic will be the report and the API codes and some academic papers, because this project is the collaboration with some academic entities. So maybe the academic paper will be the compulsory outcomes. So,
but where is the multi-energy? Because it's only EV charger.
Sorry. What
Yes,
is
the focus in this case is on EV charging. Yeah, so it's on the demand side.
Okay.
But also the use of the EV as a flexibility for the grid. This is what we propose.
I think that was the definition of the case study that was discussed with Nicolas as well. Nicolas Vandenberg.
Okay.
If I remember well. This was probably more appropriate to DSO case studies here in France.
Okay.
Yeah. So the next one is the optimal energy management for a particular microgrid. You can see microgrid here. We have different assets. So you can also leverage on all of these assets to do the energy upcharge from the electricity market or renewable electricity certificate market. So as to this topic, I also identify three deliverables. The first one is to in high level thing, the timer resolution is 5 minutes to 1 hour. So the DCAS team can formulate optimization model to coordinate different energy assets and define a strategy how to maximize the revenue in the electricity market and the renewable electricity certificate market when you have a surplus renewable energy. So this is the first one. The second one is is about a multi-agent reinforcement learning AI method for more resilient operation. So in this kind of building system, I would say this is a building community system. Different assets may be owned by different owners, so they want to exchange power or exchange information with other asset owners inside this microgrid. However, they also want to preserve the privacy, its own privacy, keep it confidential. So you better strike the balance between the energy or information sharing and the privacy preservation. This is how multi-agent AI-based reinforcement learning method can be used and implemented. So the third one is about the stability, then about the more dynamic things. So in this kind of microgrid system, you have to be very careful about its stability issue. So in some operating equilibrium, the system damping ratio is not sufficient enough, which means once you have large disturbance or small disturbance, your local microgrid system will go corruption. And the idea here is we can use neural network to remember all the physical dynamics or physical constraints in milliseconds wise. Use AI to remember the dynamic behaviors in milliseconds wide for the system, and substitute this kind of AI model into the economic dispatch optimization problem, or the first one, deliverable 2.1, is about economic optimization problem. So we can substitute the outcomes of the deliverable 2.3 into deliverable of 2.1 to ensure to exclude some optimization results that has not sufficient damping ratio to ensure the local safe operation of the microgrid system. And this is the novelty what I can identify from the microgrid topic. So similarly, outcomes can be technical reports and API codes and top tier academic papers. Yeah, so these are two topics we are exploring. Use them as a demonstrator or use case for DCAS project. So so the question here is that how you think of this use case. Do you think it's valuable or useful for EDF? And if it is not, how do you suggest us to revise it?
The question for me, that's it?
Yeah,
it's a question for you.
Jacques, just to be clear, you can give your first ideas here, but it's of course open if you have other ideas through reflections after that meeting. You can still interact with Descartes, and just to be fully open. There will be some PhD students working on basic bricks codes and topics that were described in different work packages. We're going to have a review of these PhD topics in early January, so we can be sure that they fit our needs or are of some interest to EDF. And I will gather EDF two projects: EDF Energy Optim Lab and Energy Data Lab. We are talking about those two topics, which are corporate-funded projects that enable different topics in different cases. And it is actually part of the end clients of that.
Okay. So on this use case we just see on the screen is a second use case.
Yeah, this is a second use case, and
okay. Okay. And I think on the topic of multi-energy is a good topic because a lot of question can be concern on this topic. I think in Europe, not a lot in France, but maybe soon. And I think it joins the concern of storage. Right now in France, storage is not a topic, but we'll see soon after load shedding. Maybe storage will be will come back, and I think if the storage grows, the question will be to use also the thermal storage, which is more which is less expensive. So I think it's a good.
The storage here you mentioned is the is the generic concept of storage, including electrical storage and the thermal storage and whatever storage, right? Okay. So for now. For now in Singapore and Southeast Asia, energy storage is a very hot topic, including flow battery or thermal battery. So by utilizing storage to do the energy upcharge in electricity market is really interesting to my point of view. So I guess like in my EV topic proposition here, we can see the EV charging station as a stationary energy storage system. So we are trying to explore the upcharging strategy or the optimal energy exchanging with utility by leveraging this stationary and mobile storage.
Yes. So if we can go to the next slide, what I wanted to. So I think for my point of view on what could be a concern for DSO in Europe or in France, there is, I think, multi-energy could become a concern, especially because of the storage development, chemical storage and thermal storage. And I think there is another question that could appear in Europe is is a question of the question of optimization of the system compared to optimization of the local network. So we need flexibility, but is it flexibility to support the global system? So there is an impact on the local network. I think to support global system, you need more networks, no more local networks, than rather than if you want to optimize the local network and the connection of the local network to the to the system. And the question could be, what is the optimum? And I think there's another reflection on what could appear in France and what start to appear in Germany, is that the authorities don't care of the network capacity in their policy for PV development. For example, in Germany, in south of Germany, the authorities decided to oblige the people that are building new houses to put PV on the roof, and also for the people that are refurbishing their roof, that they are obliged to put also PV. And they don't care about the grid capacity. So the question will be, so at first the DSO will have to curtail in summer the PV, but maybe in winter the PV will be fine. So the question is that with very high PV penetration on local network, what is the optimum between curtailment, storage, and network reinforcement to connect this TR to the global system. So
is it clear for you, Lynn?
Yeah. I think okay. I guess you are talking about high penetration of renewable will induce some impacts on power system operation, because there's no inertia. High penetration.
Sorry, I don't understand.
I mean, high penetration of renewable will lower the system inertia and make the system and introduce more uncertainty and disturbance to the system. And
but I think the goal of Descartes is to have a hybrid AI
yes.
use case. That's it.
Yeah, hybrid AI, and I think we can somehow leverage on the advantage of AI. Like you said, in your local system you have a lot of PV, and the system may not be easily stabilized.
And the goal, what could be very new, because it's not an approach we never work like that in Europe or in France for DSOs is to imagine a situation where on the quarter it is allowed to connect any DER capable to DER to produce energy, because we need energy without any reinforcement of the grid, because if at each time someone want to add DER, you need to reinforce the grid. It takes a long time takes too long time, and so it's not compatible with the goal of the energy transition. So you leave the customers to connect any DER on the grid, on the local grid, but so the grid became in constraint if you don't manage all this distribution energy resources. So the question is, in that case, what is the optimum of management of the DER to valorize the more of the energy produced, and compared to the grid reinforcement.
Oh, okay. I think your question is,
but I don't know if you agree, Valery.
I think maybe I think your question is how to optimally manage the DER so that grid can digest all this DER.
Sorry, could you repeat, please?
The question is, you have in some season you have a lot of DER connected to the system, and how we can optimally manage these DER assets so that the system can accommodate these DERs. Am I right? This is the question.
Yes.
But we are not even talking about inertia here. It's first a problem of offer and balance, and question about what is the economic interest of load shedding, energy produced, and network development.
Okay.
Are we going? Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
But on the Pengkong, on the quarter you of the GTC and SIT, I think there is no problem, because the load is very high, and so before there is a problem to valorize all the energy produced by the DER. We have a lot of time, because it's a very urban quarter. So because in Primo the question of the Primo or this quarter is not there's no, I think there's no grid constraint. It's not there is a 40 megawatt quarter, and there is a 2 megawatt 2 or 3 megawatt PV, 600 kilowatt hours battery. There is not very big problem. You just can optimize your bill while using a local network to access to system and markets to make some money or to save some money. But it's not very. It's not. There's no
grid constraint. in Primo.
Sorry?
There's no grid network in Primo, to be honest, right?
There is no?
There's no grid network.
Yes.
Yeah, there's no line impedance or transmission line in Primo project. So everything is close to each other.
Mm.
Yeah.
So and that's the question of for example for NADs, we invite them to on a multi-energy project, a European project, and we win definitely win this get this project, this European project, and it is in multi-energy in Paris. So there is no for NADs there is no problem of there's no great difficulty for this multi-energy solution, because the grid can offer this multi-energy system, the power it needs, and the access to the system, to the market, to optimize the bill. But we need to find, I think, where the difficulties. It's I think it's new difficulties for DSOs, because in France, for example, but it's quite new. What I will say to right now, it's the position of the NADs, the French DSO, is to already to say that the grid will be already. Will be ready to the grid is ready for the EV development. The grid is ready for the pack. It's a pompe à chaleur. It's a hot heat pump. It will be ready for heat pump. You know, so. I think the grid is quite strong in France, but the grid will be ready for the consumption. That's right. But the question is, will be the grid ready for the need of power integrate for the need of PV integration, you know, because it is a PV integration. Because in France, we have a very for the energy transition, we need to install now. We need to install very high 100 gigawatt of PV, and we need to install offshore turbines. You know, and the question of where will be installed the PV, we could, as we want to reach 100 gigawatt, we can imagine that we will build a very big PV farm, but maybe not. Maybe it will be on houses like that, with the problems we just speak about before. And so
Jacques, does this use case, is this okay for you?
This use case?
Yes. I mean, can we move ahead with this? Well, in fact, the two use cases. So this one you can see on your screen, which is the operational phase. And then the one before, which is the planning phase, which concerns exclusively EVs. Are those two use cases okay? Can we move ahead with those?
On planning phase, I don't see where is a hybrid. Where is the hybridization?
It's about EV topic, EV e-mobility topic. We are discussing the problems of EV topics in the planning phase. Because in real-time operation, many people are working on it. However, for the planning phase, before your EV charging station is deployed to the system, there are quite a few questions. So we are targeting in solving the questions. We are targeting in solving the questions in planning phase instead of operation phase. So this topic will also, I think this topic will also answer the question you just raised. If you have a lot of PV to be integrated in the system, where do you install the PV, and how do you evaluate the reliability, the impacts of PV to the existing system? I think for the planning phase, the optimal objective is to minimize the adverse impacts of PV installation, right?
So I think, if I think this is our question now. We want to move forward with these two use cases. One is the planning phase, which you can see on the screen, and the other one is the operational phase. And so that's one question. And then the other question is about the demonstrator, or let's say the application of these methods to demonstrators. And we're thinking of three cases. So Mazera, which is the small microgrid in Singapore. The other is the SIT site, which is the same one as Primo. Okay. And then the third one needs to be found. We're thinking about maybe in France or in one of the DOM, or maybe New Caledonia, for example. That would be another option. So let's say small, medium, large. So we don't have to decide that today, but these are just these suggestions that we have.
It's a demonstration for multi-energy optimization in real time.
Well, the idea would be to use the tools that are developed in the Descartes project and test them virtually. So it would be modeling, and we would model these systems and then see what happens if we use artificial intelligence and these techniques to optimize the system. I think we can't use them in real life because it's too complicated. Maybe that would be the next step. But for Descartes, it would be just using numerical, digital twins, digital models, and applying these new tools to the digital models. So, if you're okay with that, then we will move ahead on this basis.
Maybe we can give Jacques a few moments to think about it, maybe not just give an answer on the spot.
Sure.
Jacques, I don't know if you agree with that. Maybe you can discuss with some project leaders on your area so as to be sure that these two proposals are answering some topics you would like to be answered, and if not, maybe change a bit the goals so it can be really useful to your project leaders.
Okay. It's for me?
Yeah. So
I will send the slides to you. These two propositions to you later on.
Okay. Okay, but on multi-energy, we don't have right now a project on this in France.
Right.
But we on the microgrid project, we identify that maybe new use cases to be that need to be worked. It could be optimization, microgrid of optimization. So it's I think it's a scope of what we just had.
Okay. Yeah. Maybe the overseas territories would be a good place to the DOM, and the TOM would be a good place to look at as well. Outside what is in France.
Maybe Jacques can twist the text here so as to be more relevant to topics we would like to address here in France.
You? I don't know. What did you say?
I said maybe you can twist this text so as to be sure we are addressing problems that are of some interest in France.
Yes, right.
Okay.
Okay.
On the side, just a message for Christophe. I'm not very fond of the New Caledonia topic.
Yeah.
As a side, I will talk to you about that later on.
Okay.
But...
Okay. Sure.
All right.
But that's on the side.
Okay.
Okay. Is it okay for everybody? So we proceed like that?
Yeah. Okay, sure. I will send you the slides over on email.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Could you?
It's the same slide you sent me. Or is it new slides? No, it's the same.
I think it's the same. Yeah.
It's the same one.
Okay. Maybe Lynn, you can write some lines about the minutes of the meetings. So.
Yes, of course. Yeah, sure.
Okay,
right.
Perfect.
Okay.
Good for me.
Okay.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Yeah.
Bye.